The death toll from Tuesday's mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas now sits at 21 people, 19 young children and 2 teachers. In the aftermath, as they deal with heavy hearts, school leaders today are focusing on their own security protocols and how we can prevent this from happening here. NBC5's Jenna King spoke to a couple local school districts. She has our top story at 6. Jenna.
Craig, it's been only one day since the mass school shooting devastated the small, tight-knit Texas community. But for local school districts who deal with the possibility of these sorts of threats, Tuesday was all too real. In the wake of yet another deadly American school shooting, Southern Oregon school officials are once again dealing with the unthinkable.
And even though it's an incident like this being so far removed in Texas, really the nation as a whole, comes together and it really hits home because we all have kids in our schools and in our local communities.
Whether it's Columbine, Sandy Hook, or Parkland, horrific mass shootings have somehow become increasingly common in America. Something not lost on Central Point Superintendent Walt Davenport.
Well, the shift for me in my education career has been, really from just earthquake drills and fire drills to this other threat, which is just school violence, school shooter, bomb threats. Those things have become much more, I hate to say this, routine.
Schools now have beefed up security with alarms, cameras, emergency response buttons, and safety drills. School resource officers also having an increasingly important presence on campus.
We go through and we practice what we would do in an event like this. The police department does, the SRO does. We do drills and crisis planning with staff. We talk about before the event, we talk about during the event, we talk about after the event.
On Wednesday, Central Point School District increased its law enforcement presence around schools to ease parents' anxiety. The district's therapists and psychologists were also told to be on alert for students or staff who may need support. But Davenport says there was no direction from his administration to bring up Tuesday's tragedy in classrooms.
As far as when it comes up in the classroom, we really, we encourage the teachers to utilize those resources for when kids have questions.
The Medford School District sent an email to staff and families Tuesday night. It said in part, quote, "Events like this are not only tragic and painful, but can often lead to anxiety and fear felt by our entire school community," end quote.
Our top priority always is student and staff safety. And at the end of the day, it comes down to human beings taking care of each other.
As the community mourns the loss, all of our local schools are asking for your help moving forward. The goal, to ensure our kids are safe.
The bottom line is, if you see something, say something. Our greatest asset, honestly, is the effort the schools put in on a daily basis to help build relationships, to know the students and the families and the staff. And I think as a community, that's where we can contribute most, is just be alert, pay attention to what's going on.
The schools also tell me throughout the year they participate in what are called ALICE drills to practice in case of events like this. It stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. Live in the newsroom, Jenna King, NBC5 News.